Okay guys, got you another update. We have got the motor in the vehicle. Ready to rock and roll. I got it in last Wednesday or so, I believe. And I had to work over the weekend, of course, so now it's I think it's Tuesday night. I'm not going to be doing nothing to it as of right now, not tonight at least. But anyways, I want to give an update. Basically got the motor and everything back in it, even painted up the valve covers and all that stuff, and painted up the valley cover and timing cover and everything. I mean, fucking crazy shit, I'm telling you. Not sure if we're gonna stick with this intake or not. Definitely, since I put the turbo and everything on here, and Benz's turbo is a S480, and it's the SXE version, and also a race cover. It doesn't line up with our old stuff for the intake, for the inlet pipe there. So that's gonna have to be modified or just redone. And basically, what I'm thinking about doing is just going ahead and getting rid of the stock manifolds and the stuff that we did last year. Because really, last year we was going after cheap as possible and trying to hack shit together. You know, wasn't really trying to make it look nice and fit perfect, and you can really tell that. So this year, you know, I've already ordered 2.5-inch piping and everything, and some V-bands for the forward-facing headers. So I think we may just redo the whole hot side. And with that being said, if I redo the whole hot side, I'm going to probably move the turbo dead in the center of the car. I know my buddy, that's where he wants it. He wants it dead center. I would actually prefer it to be on the driver's side, and on the bottom over here. That way I can have an intercooler later, the air-to-air intercooler, and just have it mounted over here and have the pipe go straight from this side straight over and straight out the other side to the intake. But with that being said, then I gotta find a place for the radiator because it's not gonna work right. I guess if I mounted it over in the lower side, it would work with the radiator where it's at. But if we put the turbo in the middle like he's wanting to do, which is probably what we're gonna end up doing, then I'm gonna have to find a way to take this radiator and mount it at an angle up in the bumper like a lot of people do it. But then again, if I do that, then I'm stuck because I'm screwed. I won't be able to put a air-to-air or fit one in there, because the air-to-air intercooler I want to do, the core that I want to use is 6 inches thick, so there's no way it'll fit with the radiator laying down like that. So the next option would be to mount the radiator under the rear of the car, like a lot of people are doing. At first, I was kind of worried about that because I don't want to go through the trouble of spending $460 or $500 or so for just an electric water pump, and then having to spend, I think it was another $250 or $350 on just the lines and fittings to make it work to go all the way back there, and then also having to buy the adapter kit up here. It would make it look a lot nicer and give me a hell of a lot more room, and I do like that, but I don't really want to spend that kind of money on that setup. So I got to doing some searching. I think what I'm going to do is if we mount this radiator in the rear, I can actually get some fittings that go from 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, which is what these are. I don't know which way it is, or not 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, I'm sorry, 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches. I'm not sure if the top or the bottom which one it is, but anyways, basically they make adapters that'll go 1.75 inches or 1.5 inches to a 16 AN line. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that 16 AN line, put a clamp here, put a clamp on the adapter, and then run a 16 AN line all the way from the front to the rear, and it should be fine. I actually found 2 or 3 people on, I think it was Yellow Bullet, maybe is where I found them, where this guy's actually done plenty, and he's used the Mazir electric and the stock LS pump doing it this way, and he said he's had no issues with it whatsoever. And I don't think he will, because I'm pretty sure the LS mechanical pump flows about 25-30 gallons per minute at idle, and I think anything over 4,000, I mean, it's close to like 45, almost 50 gallons per minute. So I don't think it'll have a problem cooling. And I know a lot of people do the electric deal. I don't know if any of you guys watch the Moxang boys, but I mean, they're up close to me, and that's how they do some of their stuff, and they ain't had no issues. But they use that high dollar Missouri electric pump. I'm going to try to do it this way, give everybody more of a cheap alternative. Actually, what I'll do is I'll probably even put the adapter fittings that I'm going to need for this in the description below, just so that you guys know what I'm talking about and where to find them, because I knew they made them, but I've never really thought about doing it because a mechanical pump I didn't think would work. But then if you think about it, a lot of people run mechanical fuel pumps and they do that on the street, so it's not really that much of a difference. So with all that being said, I just don't know how I'm going to do it, whether the radiator's in the rear or in the front. If we put the radiator in the front and we put the turbo over top of it and put the radiator to angle in the front, then I'm going to keep the car non-intercooled no matter what. And because this is basically going to be the last time we pipe this thing. I'm not going to be spending money piping it, because if any of you guys ever look, the 4-inch V-bands and the 4-inch aluminum piping, that shit's not cheap at all. And not to mention, you got to go out and buy your stuff for the V-band stuff for the damn blow-off valve and everything else. So yeah, I don't know exactly which route we want to go. I know what an air-to-air intercooler would probably be a better solution, but I don't know, guys. I just really don't know. And anyways, on the intake, since all this ain't working on the intake, back to that is what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get rid of this intake, and I'm going to buy some eBay rails, since I've already got a MagnaFuel 1-to-1 regulator, fuel pressure regulator, and I've already got the fittings for it. I figured I might as well just buy the eBay rails and then buy the 4-bolt instead of the 3-bolt intake, and that way I'll have a bigger throttle body and everything like that. And supposedly the 4-bolt truck intake works very well. If you look at some of the results, if you Google it, that actually 4-bolt does better than even the aftermarket LSX stuff. I mean the fast stuff. I mean the 102. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. And I think when I put this forward-facing header on, I'm not sure yet, that I'm going to have to come down here and just cut this bottom section out of the stock truck or alternator mount. No big deal. So that's basically got you guys caught up. We was going to try to get to the track next weekend, but we're doing all this, and I'm going to fab it up, because I know how me and Kevin are. We're both kind of the same in the fact that we can't handle the junk stuff for very long, and we end up having to make stuff kind of nice, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm getting tired of looking at this fucking hacked up bullshit, and it works, don't get me wrong, and I've seen worse stuff done and it worked even better. I mean, I've seen people saying that you got to have nice mandrel bends on this shit, and then obviously doesn't watch Matt Happel's bullshit, because he's got stuff that's all literally fucking jacked up into a V shape, and the son of a bitch made 900 horsepower on a 6-liter, so on a fucking Chinese turbo at that. So yeah, that's kind of fucked up. And then also Kevin, he went ahead, he sold the rear end parts, he sold the axles, and I think he sold the spool too. I think that guy's gonna come pick it up this weekend. This is the same guy actually bought the lower control arms and the anti-roll bar that we have for this car, but Kevin ended up selling it because we thought he was gonna sell the car, and now we had to go ahead and we had to order all that stuff again. But it is what it is, ain't no big deal, but we'll get rid of all that. And what I was talking about on the rear end, I don't know if you can see it, but we're just going to mount right underneath the tank here, or right underneath the spare tire well, space it down. No big deal, I don't think. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys all informed on that. But that's all I really got with this. And yeah, and that's about it. when we get the new axles and stuff for the rear, we'll have the 5-lug axles. So I'm going up to, my family owns a junkyard, so I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna take the disc brake setup off of a SN95 car, so we'll have it for this car. So we'll have disc brakes all the way around it, and I figure more than likely, knowing my buddy, he's going to, me and him will probably end up talking ourselves into going to manual brakes. So all that bullshit will be gone to give us even more room. Like I said, between me and him, this stuff doesn't seem to stay too junkyard built for very long. I mean, we did stay stock bottom in and everything, but like I said, we just want to try the stock bottom in. I want to see if we can even break it, and that's actually my fucking goal, is to blow the son of a bitch up. So we'll see what happens. And I mean blow it. When I mean blow it up, I mean actually have everything right, not just, you know, hack it up and make it blow itself up. But we'll see how fast this son of a bitch will go this year. There ain't no doubt about it. With everything getting fixed, I know last year we was kind of scared to go real fast because the brakes ain't too freaking great. So that's about it, my friends. Like I said, like and subscribe to the page. Got any questions, ask them. I'll answer them as quickly as possible, or my cousin will, somebody will. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. I mean, I'm up for some ideas on the radiator mounting situation and what you guys think. Do you think I should go with the turbo in the center and figure that out, or should I mount it on the bottom down there next to the radiator like it is right now, and then run the air-to-air intercooler on the front? So I don't know, but we'll holler at you guys later.